Hey, millions of people use social networking sites like Facebook every day. What role does social media play when it comes to searching for a job? Our career expert, Randy Wooden, here to talk more about that. Good morning.
Good morning.
So some of the big ones when you're looking for a job would probably be Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, which is something that a lot of people, if you're not in the business world, aren't familiar with.
Right. I call LinkedIn Facebook for business people.
Okay.
LinkedIn is something, if you're not part of it, you need to be. And that really transcends industry and job function, in part because if you're not on LinkedIn and you're not engaged in social media, many companies will look at you as sort of being behind the curve in terms of technology. Sort of like back in the day when you say, well, I really don't have an email account. I really am not good with computers.
Just call me on the phone.
Yeah, nowadays, see, it's a given that you have that. And more businesses are looking for people who do have a web presence. But then the question becomes, is it a good one?
Okay.
That can be a challenge.
Now, how is it a challenge? Because, if you get involved in these communities, you're often posting different ideas and things like that, which can sometimes come back to haunt you.
It can, especially younger people. They'll put a lot of more personal things on, let's say, Facebook and that. And certainly I understand that. At least if you do, make sure you lock it down. But the problem becomes if you get into an interview and the employer says, open up your Facebook account now, let me see what you have.
Let's look at it.
Yeah, so you really need to, when in doubt, leave it out.
Okay.
So that would be, I guess, a thought on that. And LinkedIn is one where you've got, it's a business profile, and so it's almost like putting your resume online, except that you can do that without setting off alarms if you're employed, that your employer might see that and say, hey, this fellow's looking. It's really more of a business profile about your background.
Now compare those to something like people go to Monster.com, Hot Jobs, something like that. That's what a lot of people are using to look for jobs these days.
It is. It's passive. Sometimes when I give my group talks, I'll ask, is anybody here on the internet? Of course, all the hands go up. And then I'll ask, well, what are you on? And they'll say, well, I have my resume posted on these job sites. And that's all well and good, but it's passive. One of the things that social media allows you to do is to interact with people of common interests, whether it's industry, job function, that sort of thing. And so I encourage you to not only get on LinkedIn, but create a profile. And here's the key, Brad. It's one thing to create a profile. It's another thing to be active and engaged.
You have to go back to it every now and then and kind of build your presence and things like that. Right?
Exactly. And you want to build the profile, fill it out completely, because then you have searchable terms. And you can go on and see that people are actually searching. People search me out based on keywords. So if I don't have those keywords, just like a resume, if I don't have the keywords actually on my profile, they can't find me.
Now you do seminars, and we'll tell you about that in just a second. Yeah. Do you touch on this in there? We talk about, give people advice on how to use the net as a way to find a job?
I do, and anymore there are companies, and I'm not going to name them now, but there are a number of companies, Brad, that realistically, they won't even look at you if you don't have a robust profile on, let's say, a LinkedIn. They just won't do it because, again, they look at you as sort of a dinosaur in terms of using the tools available in today's business world, especially if it's a technology-based company.
Okay. Randy, thanks very much. I tell you what, he covers this and a lot more in his workshops. They're Get Hired workshops every Thursday at noon, and is held at his office. 3540 Clemens Road, Suite 105 in Clemens. Seating is limited. Make sure you call ahead and sign up. And the number's on your screen right now, 793-8040. You can also drop Randy an email. We've got his information on our morning news page at myfox8.com.